Hello, my name is Nathaniel Gage, and this is my discussion post defending my final paper. The research question that my paper addressed was, what caused the strikes that occurred at various General Motors plants over the years? One might ask, why address this question? Who cares? But the question does have significance. The strikes that occurred at General Motors plants often coincided with upheaval and changes in the automotive and economic world. The Flint sit-down strike of 1937, the main focus of the paper, occurred at the beginning of and was a catalyst for the labor and union movement. Aside from that, other companies might learn to treat their employees better through studying General Motors' failure. The preparation for this paper included a great deal of research, focusing mostly on primary sources, which were more difficult to find than secondary sources. The most important primary sources used were the letters and other forms of communication between the United Automobile Workers Union in regard to the 1937 Flint, Michigan sit-down strike and the management of General Motors. The Jerry Falwell Library online was the primary source of secondary sources for this paper, although a number of irrelevant sources had to be combed through in order to find anything useful. Primary sources were located through the websites of other colleges and institutions, such as the Library of Congress, although these sources were located with a cursory internet search. The paper concluded that the strikes and the issues that caused them happened because of a failure on General Motors' part to innovate and adapt to changing situations and the different needs and demands of their employees. What's more, while General Motors may have innovated and adapted well when it came to marketing and production, that know-how did not transfer over to their handling of disgruntled employees. To be clear, General Motors was hardly alone in this failure, as businesses were used to being on the dominating side of the relationship between employee and employer. That being said, General Motors was the largest corporation in the world at the time, so their failure to handle things well and address their employees' grievances resulted in more strikes simply because of the sheer numbers of employees who worked for them. To be clear, that does not excuse their failures, but it may help to explain them. It also seems General Motors has not entirely dealt with this situation, as even as recently as 2019, there were still large strikes taking place, which affected the American economy. Um, General Motors has been praised in the past for being innovative, especially in regards to their marketing and production techniques. But like I said before, that evidently did not carry over to their handling of their employees. The Flint sit-down strike was one in which the strikers wanted representation from to negotiate with General Motors, and they wanted the union, the United Automobile Workers Union, to negotiate on their part. Um, there were violent interactions with the police and even the National Guard, which just shows failure of on General Motors' part to understand their employees' determination. Thank you.